Dr. Paul. I recently became a citizen of the United States, and my first vote is going to be for you. And I just want to ask you a question. I'm recording it actually, and I'm going to take it home. My mother-in-law mentioned that some of her friends, one of the concerns they have is about legalizing drugs, legalizing marijuana. I know how the media plays it cute, misinformating. So if you have something to say about this, and actually if you can probably work it out to make it clearer for the average Joe, I would say. Thank you.
He's asking about marijuana in particular, about I'm sure about the drug war in general. You know, this morning I think I saw, or maybe last night, it was a promotion of somebody that had just done a documentary, and the documentary was on prohibition. And they went through, you know, how we had this experiment, we had prohibition of alcohol, and how bad it was, and the criminal element delivered the alcohol became more dangerous, and then finally the American people woke up and said, this prohibition stuff doesn't work. That's pretty much the way I look at the drug war. You know, the drug war has not been around all that long. The first time they started prohibiting marijuana was in 1937. And it means that the criminals sell the drugs now. I think we should treat our drugs more like we treat alcohol. Alcohol is a drug, but this whole idea that if California passes a law and says that if you just even in a narrow sense use marijuana for medicinal purposes, the federal government comes in, they don't respect California's law. They said federal law rules, and they go in there and they'll arrest sick people and put them in prison because of use of alcohol. I don't think that makes any sense. We've spent way over $1 trillion in the last 30, 40 years on the drug war, and it hasn't reduced the amount of drug usage. It's a personal choice. If people use it and abuse it and make a mistake, they can't come to their neighbors and say, you have to take care of me. I, as a physician and as a parent and a grandparent, I think the use of drugs is really, you know, a terrible thing to do. I really preach against that. At the same time, you know, there are more drug addictions with prescription drugs.
Right.
And the other major reason that I've, over the years, become more annoyed with the drug laws is that we've had racial problems in this country for a long time, and people have been punished because they belong to a certain race, and that obviously was wrong. The solution sometimes had been a form of action, give them special privileges. I don't think that is the solution, but I do believe in the court system that poor blacks and poor Hispanics are going to be more likely to be put in prison. Over half the people in our prisons for drug usage are minorities, and it's more likely that they will be. Even the issuing of the death penalty are poor people who are in minorities, and I think it's a system that hasn't been, it doesn't fairly mete out justice. So I think that is one of the consequences of the drug war. But the drug war is used as an excuse once again to know everything about your private life. Oh yes, we'll stop you here, we're going to check you out, you might have drugs. And I would think, what annoys me sometimes are these people who are willing to put nonviolent individuals in prison for life in Washington, you know, people in Washington, D.C., they don't have any inhibition at drinking a lot of alcohol. I think that's hypocritical.